All right, we are headed to 10218 Northeast Hazeldale Avenue here in Vancouver, Washington. It's a property that I purchased back in April of 2024, here a few months ago. I have yet to see it, but we operate that home as an all-women sober living home. We've done a full breakdown. I'll put the YouTube video right here of the entire breakdown. But this is our first time, so I'm going to take you guys on the journey for that. So stay tuned. We bought this home in April of this year. We bought it what's called subject to, or sub to. In the real world of real estate, it's called a mirror wrap. We're taking over the payments of their mortgage. So the debt stays in the seller's name and the deed transfers over. So it's owned in my entity, which the entity's name is the address, 10218 LLC or whatever it is here in the state of Washington. So I own the property. I'm responsible for taxes, termites, tenants, insurance. I can do whatever I want with it. I could do a short-term, long-term, mid-term rental, whatever it may be. But what made the most sense for this property, because of its versatility having been a 4-bed, 3-bath, is they had a pretty massive sized garage that we converted over to a 7-bed, 3-bath. By doing so, there's a huge demand here locally and all across America for sober living facilities. Like, I'm talking with a sober living operator right now in Central Oregon, where she goes, if you can get me 3 homes right now, I will fill them all within 30 days. Massive problem in America that we're able to provide affordable housing for people trying to become sober. So this house we're heading to right now isn't the prettiest on the block, isn't the one that you would pick out and go, ooh, that's my white picket fence. It even has an easement. You have to go across someone else's property to get to it. And that's what makes it so cool for me, is that, like, it's going to be, it cash flows $1,000 a month, if not $1,200 a month, depending on the month. And we get consistent rental income. They take care of all the utilities. They take care of landscaping, pest control, every single thing you can think of. It's the closest thing to a triple net lease you can consider in the single family residential space. And our entry fee on the deal was a total of $36,000, which I had a private money lender fund that entire thing. So I'm in the deal for $0 of my own money. So unlike short-term rental, mid-term rental, well, those aren't really passive, right? Like, I deal with all of our short-term rental properties. We've kicked out over 10 plus guests, and we dealt with a broken range the other day and this and that and whatever, where you're heavily involved. And with regulations coming into the short-term rental space more and more frequently in every single city, it feels like, the sober living space is one that I'm looking for and investing into, because they're federally funded. They're operated from a national organization. So meaning I'm not dealing with any of the vacancies. I'm not having to fill any of the rooms, deal with any tenant issues, because there's an operator at the head of that tree that manages all of the tenants. And so what that really means for me is it's truly passive, is that we've never been to the property. The girls take care of everything. And for me, I can just go visit occasionally or whatever it may be. And for me, it's just less involved. And so it's easily scalable. You have an operator that manages everything, and we just get a check every single month, and they take care of the property and keep it clean because they're the ones living in it. So while others waiting to buy real estate because interest rates are too high, I'm actively in the market, and I'm leveraging those previous interest rates that are out there and buying real estate right now, and not just waiting for something to come along like a perfect scenario. And so for me, this is one of many acquisitions we're going to make this year and make it work for us. And so the numbers work. We have a $3,000 mortgage. They pay $4,500 a month. I pay $300 a month through my PML every single month. That covers everything. I'm grossing $1,200 a month every single month. And we're putting away money, of course, for what we call the uh-oh fund, but everything other than that is just purely cash flow that we're going to let build and build and build. And then they're going to increase rents here in 2 years once their lease expires, and they're going to increase 5 to 7% every year after 2 years. And so for me, it's something that is a cool hybrid between the income from a midterm rental, but the passivity of a long-term rental, because I don't have to furnish it. I don't have to do anything. So my entry fee is super low, and the tenants are just easy to deal with because it's working on in a community. We're feeding back the community, helping the community, and the demographic that rent these homes are needing home. And so it fills my heart that we're able to do this, and I cannot wait to get here. All right, we just got here, and driving up, I didn't realize how cool of a location this is for the property itself. Within walking distance, I'm sitting right in front of a bus stop right now, bus stop 9 of an entire TriMet system here locally. So a lot of the girls don't have a lot of cars, and so they use public transportation to get around. This is right in front of their house they can get to. We drove by a grocery outlet, which is a perfect grocery store for people here who are living by themselves and need groceries, as well as kids care. There's kindergarten care right there. So if there's children living here too, they have kids care right there. If they needed it so they could go to work, because all of these women have jobs. They all work full-time jobs, part-time jobs to be able to afford to live here. It's not as if they're living here subsidized completely and squatting. And so here's the house right here. You can see it through that garage is someone else's property. That's this guy's property over here. And we have an easement across his property over to this house. This is our house with all those trash and recycle cans out front. We converted that garage to 3 more bedrooms. That converted us from a 4.3 to a 7.3. And overall, like I said, it's cash flowing us $1,200 a month, and we're pouring back into the community. And I think we're going to try and get 3 more of these things in this area because there's a huge need for it. I get asked all the time, how do you get started in sober living? Where do you start? And there's really 2 ways to go about doing it. And one way is being more involved. That's more, think of it more of as like a short-term rental operator. You're dealing with the room rentals. You're dealing with the turnover, the vacancies, the issues, the problems. For me, I don't have the bandwidth for that. That is fulfilling, and it would be cool to see something like that because obviously you reap the rewards. Like I think he's making $7,000 a month on this property, on that property. But for me, I'm willing to pay someone who is an expert at that, who has all the systems in place. And so for you in your local markets, you need to find who is your sober living operator. Google sober living operator and then pick your county. Like we are in Clark County, Washington right now. Search and find that person and have a conversation and kind of figure out what they need. Do they need men's homes? Do they need women's homes? Do they need women and children's homes? What are they searching for? Is there a demand and a need? And so that's a first place you want to get started. And then from there, kind of get a better idea. And so when you speak to them, is like, you know, what size home are you looking for right now? How many bedrooms minimum do you need to see? And what are some other qualities, like near bus stops, near grocery stores that are all within walking distance? Because again, a lot of the women don't have vehicles. They're walking places and they need to be near jobs. So I bet you $1, one of the girls or 2 work at that grocery outlet or that kids care or something in the area right here. And that's a lot of the information that I learned and gleaned. So when we're looking at properties, we're analyzing the areas around it of like, where's the employment? Or, you know, can they walk to a grocery store, convenience store, bus stop, whatever, Subway, you know, whatever it may be. And from there, yeah, it's just finding them a suitable place and then making sure it can fit as many girls as we can. So a lot of these properties you guys are probably turning down or not looking at because you're like, that's a funky house. That's a weird layout. Like, don't overlook those. Those are gold mines for opportunities in the sober living space to diversify your portfolio if you're not already in the sober space, because those people haven't figured out. They may not be the prettiest fence on the road, I'll tell you that. It may not be, but I bet you no one around here realizes that thing is a cash cow and is only going to increase from there as rents increase here over the couple of years, because they also retain a budget of taking care of the property. Everyone has chores. Everyone has a role. I think it's the chancellor, the counselor, the bookkeeper, the treasurer. Everyone has like all these different roles within the home and they take care of it. And then they keep a $500 budget a month for any repairs. So if anything were to happen, a light fixture or a sink fixture, they will take care of it, bring the handyman out to take care of it. I don't have to even hear about it or worry about it, and they do it. Anything up and over, as a landlord and property owner, I'm responsible for. If the roof happens or the water heater or whatever, it's on me because I own the property. And so a lot of those aspects are really cool, is that they're going to take care of a lot of stuff. And so don't overlook and sleep on those funky houses that you know aren't emotionally you're tied to, that you would live in or you make a good short-term rental. Put a different hat on and go, ooh, would this work as a sober living? Send that address or that Zillow link over to your sober living operator and say, hey, I'm thinking we can add another bedroom by adding this demising wall right here to get us to 6 bedrooms. What do you think you could get me price-wise? I have my sober living operator quote me 2 to 3 homes a month that I'm looking at to seeing if we can make work. I'll even have them go walk it before I even put it under contract.